a famous writer, was in his study room. He picked up his pen and began to write. Last year, I had a surgery, and my gallbladder was removed. I had to stay stuck to the bed due to the surgery for a long time. The same year, I reached the age of 60 and had to give up my favorite job, in which I spent 30 years in the publishing company. He paused and continued. In that same year, I experienced the death of my father. And also, in the same year, my son failed in his medical exam because he had a car accident. He had to stay in bed at the hospital with a cast on for several months. The destruction of my car was another great loss. At the end, he wrote, "Alas, it was a bad year." So, when the writer's wife entered the room, she found her husband looking sad and lost in his thoughts. From behind, she read what was written on the paper. She left the room silently. Few minutes later, she came back with another paper and placed it on the table where the previous paper was. When the writer recovered himself, he looked down on the paper again, but saw that it was different, and his name was written on it, so he began to read the following lines. Last year, I finally got rid of the gallbladder, after so many years. I turned 60 with sound health, and got retired from my job. Now, I can utilize my time to write something better with more focus and peace. That same year, my father, at the age of 95, without any critical condition, met his Creator. And also, God blessed my son with a new life. My car was destroyed, but my son stayed alive without getting any disability. At the end, she wrote, "Oh, last year was an immense blessing of God, and it passed so well." The writer was indeed happy and amazed at such a beautiful and encouraging interpretation of the happenings in his life that year.
In life, gratitude changes everything. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. That turns around everything for good and brings joy into one's life. Giving thanks throughout the day to God will also give us new perspective, make our minds renewed, and our attitudes improved, and living every day of our lives in joy. Sometimes, constant life demands, struggles, and worries may give room to defeat, then a heart of thanks. When we forget, in the midst of busyness and pressures, to pause and give God thanks. Gratitude is a weapon against what the enemy wants to use to destroy us. He wants us to give in to defeat and give up our faith in God. But, if we keep on noticing the good that the Lord has done in our lives, our hope will never become consumed by hopelessness. In Colossians 2, verse 7, says, "Let your roots grow down into Him, and let your lives be built on Him. Then your faith will grow strong in the truth you were taught, and you will overflow with thankfulness." So, develop an attitude of gratitude today. Learn to give thanks to God for everything, knowing that to every step forward, there is always a step towards achieving something bigger and better than your current situation. In our daily lives, it is not happiness that makes one grateful, but gratefulness that makes one happy. So, how often do you give God thanks? I look forward to see your thoughts on this. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.